Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Geiger, and up here today with part 8, I believe, or it might be 9, of the PlayStation 2 collection. Not as many in this part, but there's some good gems in here actually. Looking around, actually, I thought I'd show. I got my latest PS4 game on from Amazon. I picked up Greedfall. It looked like a pretty good game. It was like £35. I wanted some money, so I treated myself to that. And I got this American, another one of my American DVD box sets, film ones. Yeah, Greedfall looks alright actually. It looks like a pretty sort out RPG. Lots of things to do in it, of course. Still working on Red Dead. If you haven't checked me out on Mixer, I've been doing some Red Dead Redemption 2 online streams the last couple of days, and it's been hilarious. It really has been a lot of fun. So definitely check them out if you just want to see something a little bit more light-hearted and messing around. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. First up, we have Made Man. This game actually took me a while to find. Actually, it's basically like something like a Max Payne style game. It's like a third-person shooter, all based around like mafia kind of thing. It looks alright. It took me a while to find this game actually. Speaking of mafia, we have the original Mafia game. I haven't played the original. I did like the second one, and I loved the third one. Not perfect games, but they were pretty fun games actually. Sort of like almost some people call them a GTA clone or something. But I don't know how good the original is. I've heard it's a pretty good game for the PlayStation 2, but I think Mafia 3 was a really underrated game in my opinion. And we have Music Maker. Yeah, the PlayStation 2 really did have it all. You could make your own music, and there's quite a few of these Music Maker games on PlayStation 2 and even some on PlayStation 1. It's not the first console to have music makers on. There's plenty out there, but if that's your thing. Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects. It's kind of like a arena fighting game. The whole idea was to create like superheroes and then have like original characters in this game. I remember playing it as a kid and I thought it was pretty awesome, but when I played it last, it was kind of a little bit on the well, it was imperfect. That's the best way to call it. Then we have Men in Black 2, Alien Escape, same planet, new scum. Yeah, there are a few Men in Black games out there, if that's your thing. I do love the original Men in Black movie. I think it went downhill from after there. Mega Man X7. Of course, another of the X series, the third-person action game. Some people like these, some people don't. Personal opinion. I haven't played it to really give my opinion on it. Meet the Robinsons, another obscure Disney movie from the 2000s that, well, it just hasn't, I don't know. Some of these Disney games are pretty good though. Some of the licensed games. Speaking of good games, Medal of Honor: Rising Sun. Took great things about the Medal of Honor Frontline game, and it just took it and made it even better. You know, EA used to make solid titles. And yeah, this game had it all, you know, single player campaign, co-op campaign, bot multiplayer. I really did used to play a lot of the multiplayer on this game with my brothers and stuff, and it was really fun. Lots of customization options and things. Mr. Golf, another everybody's golf wannabe. The Matrix, Path of Neo. Yeah, this was another one of my childhood favourites. I absolutely loved this game as a kid. I hear it don't hold up as well, but I absolutely loved this game as a kid. It was just such a joy to play. I used to play a lot with my cousin. SingStar Rocks. Lots of rock songs on there. Maybe not heavy metal, but rock. SpongeBob SquarePants, Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. My friend used to have this game, and he told me that he he ended up breaking the disc at one point because the game pissed him off that much. I never thought I'd hear that about a SpongeBob game, but let me have the Spider-Man, based on the first Tobey Maguire movie. This game is actually pretty good for its time. Actually, it wasn't a bad game. It was more linear than the newer Spider-Man games. It didn't really have open world to it, but it was a good attempt at a Spider-Man licensed movie game, though. Star Wars Race and Revenge, another. This is basically like a sequel or remake of the Nintendo 64 game. I hear it's not as good as the original Nintendo 64 game, but it still holds up in some people's eyes. The pod racing was also a really cool thing. State of Emergency 2. I hear this game is actually a lot different to the original State of an Emergency. The original was very chaotic and stuff. I hear this one is a little bit more different, more tanks and things. So I haven't never played it. I have to try it out and see how different it is. Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, often considered to be one of the best licensed games out there, and it is a very good game. Unfortunately, it's not perfect. There are some problems with it, but most people overlook it. It was a very good game for its time, and still is one of the best Lord of the Rings games out there. Let me have MotoGP, the classic Namco arcade game. Star Wars Battlefront 2, my second favourite game of all time. Absolutely put so much time into this as a kid. The instant action modes and the galactic conquest modes were my favourite. I used to love playing this game with my brothers and even alone. It was a very fun game. And yeah, you can get this on the original Xbox and play it on the Xbox One as well. It was free actually a few months ago with Xbox Live, so I've got it on my original Xbox One as well. But still, played it on the PlayStation 2 growing up. Very, very good game. Fortunately, the newer Battlefront don't hold up as well, but they're still pretty good. Superbikes Riding Challenge, another bike racing game. Plenty of these out there. Terminator 3: The Redemption. I remember this one as a kid. Had it on GameCube. It's a pretty interesting game. It's a kind of a cool one. Well, it's Terminator 3: The Redemption. It's a pretty good game actually. It's not amazing, but it's a pretty solid spin-off of the Terminator series. SpongeBob Atlantis SquarePantis, based on the I guess you can call it movie. Yeah, it looks like a traditional SpongeBob action platformer. The Scorpion King, Rise of the Ascadian, I think. I did not know there was a new Scorpion King movie as well, actually. I saw it in Sainsbury's the other day. It's not... I don't know if it's got anything to do with this one, but I think it actually has, actually. It might be. Never played this game, but I hear this game is terrible. Kind of like the movie. Kind of like a spin-off of the Mummy series. NHL 2005. Naruto Ultimate Ninja. There's a lot of Naruto games out there, and some of them are really good. I've never actually watched Naruto. Or really read the manga, but it's a very popular anime series, manga series, whatever you want to follow. But of course, there are plenty of Naruto games out there, and for the most part, they're normally Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi, or Budokai clones, almost sort of like that sort of style of fighting game. I think this one's more of a 2D fighter kind of thing. Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2. These are the ones that are kind of like Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi style, 3D fighters. I hear these games are really good, and there's plenty of versions of this, like there's ultimate versions and just Ninja 2, whatever. And obviously there's compilations on Xbox One and PS4 and stuff. There's plenty of Naruto games out there if that's your thing. Some of them are kind of hard to find though. We have Need for Speed Carbon. This is the normal version. I also have the limited edition version as well. NBA Live 07. Another NBA game. NBA Jam. This is, if I'm going to play a sports game, it'll be something like this. A lot more arcadey, over the top, you know, not really realistic, just crazy stuff. And the NBA Jam series is often considered to be a very loved spin-off of the NBA. NFL Street. I guess they did FIFA Street, so we've also got an NFL one. Although I wouldn't really recommend playing that kind of football in the streets. NFL Street 3. Yeah, there was a few of these actually, yeah. They look kind of fun actually. I hear these are pretty good if it's like FIFA Street. Pimp My Ride Street Racing. They kind of went away from the terrible Pimp My Ride game and just went for a more traditional racing game here. And probably still terrible, but it's made by Activision, so maybe it's not as bad as the other Pimp My Ride game. MX 2002 featuring Ricky Carmichael. I don't know how many MX games there are out there, but there's plenty of them. And if you're into Supercross or Motocross. Sonic Gems Collection. This includes Sonic CD, Sonic Fighters, and Sonic R. And 6 Game Gear classics. It's worth it for Sonic CD, of course. Sonic CD is often considered to be one of the best 2D Sonic games, and a lot of people are asking for a Sonic collection for the Switch. The Dukes of Hazzard, Return of General Lee. Never really watched the show. I think this is based on the movie, not the show, but never really watched it, but still a classic show. Star Wars Super Bombard Racing. This game took me so long to find. It was the last Star Wars game I needed for a full Star Wars PS2 collection. And this is basically a kart racer with Star Wars bobblehead style characters. It's ridiculous. But it took me a while to find it actually. We have Malice, a sort of action platformer. I have tried it out. It seems okay. I wouldn't really go as far to say it was amazing, but it was an okay game. Not really big on platformers though. NBA Hoops with I think that's Shaquille O'Neal on there. Could be wrong. I think it's Shaquille O'Neal. I don't really know basketball. NASCAR 07. I remember playing one of the NASCAR games on PlayStation 1 as a kid. NBA Street Volume 2. Yeah, it's crazy how much you can do with a sport. NBA Live 2004. Again, much of the same. If you're into that sort of thing, you know the differences, but I don't. Mission Impossible, Operation Surma. Never really watched the Mission Impossible movies. I did play the Mission Impossible game on PS1 though, or at least remember watching my brother play it. Monster Trucks Extreme Arena Edition. Of course, a Phoenix title, and we all know Phoenix are the most budgeted of the budgets. I kind of want to get all the Phoenix titles just because they're kind of obscure games, kind of rare. Some of them are kind of rare, but they're not expensive, if you know what I mean. The Sims 2 Castaway, another spin-off of The Sims 2. This is basically The Sims on an island. It's actually not a bad concept. It's like a survival game with Sims. And it works. It really does work. It's not amazing. It's not as good as the other Sims 2 games, but it's a pretty solid sort of spin-off. While the PC versions, kept it more or less the same. The console versions of the Sims games up until Sims 4 kind of experimented and tried new things and spin off. This and the Herbs, in my opinion, are the best spin-offs of the Sims. Well, to be honest, they're the only two sort of spin-offs. Prince of Persia Warrior Within and Prince of Persia Sands of Time. Of course, these are classics. I used to love playing the Sands of Time. These games, in my opinion, are the games that inspired the Assassin's Creed games because of the very the free running and stuff like that, and the scaling and climbing. Sands of Time is a classic. You can get these on PS3 for a HD collection. It's easier to get them like that, I guess. But and Warrior Within, of course, continued the story, and obviously the Two Thrones was a little bit more based on action. These ones had a good combination of both action and sort of adventure, platforming, free running, and yeah, kind of sad that Prince of Persia died off. Psyops, the Mindgate Conspiracy. I heard this is actually a pretty good game. It's a kind of like if you know that game Control, one of those sort of games, you know, mind telekinesis powers, superpowers almost, with shooting elements, of course. Power Rangers Super Legends. Some of the Power Rangers games are good. Some of them are not so good. I don't know which one this falls under. I'm so sorry. Never really watched Power Rangers growing up. I mean, I've seen a few episodes here and there, but of course, it's one of the biggest franchises for, of course, spawned from Super Sentai in Japan, and then, of course, Power Rangers became its own thing, and Super Sentai is still going strong, I believe, but of course, there's plenty of Power Rangers games out there. I think there's only 3 on PlayStation 2, though. NBA 2K8. What's the difference between the NBA and the NBA Live? I don't know. I really don't. Metal Gear Solid 2, Substance. This is basically kind of like the Game of the Year edition of Metal Gear Solid. Comes with the game, and it also comes with the document of Metal Gear Solid 2. And it comes with like some bonus features like focus. VR missions, Snake Tails, you can play different characters, and yeah, you can even do skateboarding. So yeah, this is kind of like the ultimate edition of Metal Gear Solid 2, and yeah, this game is actually kind of sought after. Not the most expensive one, but it's kind of sought after, and of course, Metal Gear Solid 2 is one of the all-time greatest games of all time. The Metal Gear Solid trilogy in general is amazing. I know there's 5 Metal Gear Solid games, or more than 5, but I like to call them a trilogy. 4 and 5 sort of went away more so than the original 3 games were, in my opinion, the best games, of course. Very story-driven games, of course, though. Midway Arcade Treasures includes 20 Midway games. Focus there so you can have a look. My favourite on here is Smash TV. I love Smash TV. Really good twin stick shooter. Micro Machines. This is the Atari version. It's nowhere near as good as the other Micro Machine game, but it still has a similar charm. But it really is nowhere near as good as the other Micro Machine games. Pro Evolution Soccer 4. Konami's answer to FIFA. Soul Calibur 3. Of course, Soul Calibur is an excellent fighting series. So much in the Soul Calibur series. There's just really good games, lots of customization. They're more weapon-based fighting, 3D fighters. But I do like the Soul Calibur games, and Dead or Alive games are my 2 go-to fighting games. If I'm going to play a fighting game, it's either Soul Calibur or Dead or Alive. I'm not really big on Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat's great, but I'm just not. I just prefer the weapons of Soul Calibur. Quite more fantasy style as well. Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. This is basically like a turn-based RPG, which basically you're basically like following the main cast of the movie. So basically you're behind the main characters in the movie and stuff like that. It's kind of a cool concept, and I have played a little bit of this game, and it's an okay RPG. If you like those sort of things, but it's nice that they did try something different with the Lord of the Rings. Monster Jam, really fun games these are. crazy over the top things. I might have already shown this one. I feel like I have. Poker Masters. If you're into poker, there's plenty of poker games out there. I really don't know how to play poker, so not really for me. Pilot Down, Behind Enemy Lines. Another sort of World War II stealth-based game, kind of like The Great Escape or something, from the developers of Prisoner of War. So yeah. Last two here. Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Another spin-off of the Power Rangers series. This one, I think this one's based more on the robots or the Zords, I guess. Again, Power Rangers is very out there, but what do you expect from a show that's born from a Japanese TV show? And then last in this video, we have Maximo, Army of Zin. Like I said, Maximo is basically ghouls and ghosts in 3D. And they're pretty good action platformers with a fair challenge to them. So that's it for today's part. I've got a few more parts I can do. I want to get these videos done sooner rather than later, so I can sort out my PlayStation 2 bookcase and get everything sort of put into genre. I think I'm on the top there because there's a lot on the top. I think I'm going to put all my sports games, just because I don't play sports games that much, so if I can't reach them, it's not a big issue. At least now, it's the best solution I've got. But I think I'm going to play some PS2 tonight. I'm going to try out that Army Men Air Attack Blade Revenge, I think. Try it out, and obviously whether or not I play it for the whole session, I don't know. But I think tonight's going to be a PlayStation 2 night, I think. Go back and play some classics and maybe find a couple of hidden gems here and there for an upcoming hidden gems video in the future. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like and, of course, comment below. Let me know what you've been playing recently and what you've been up to and stuff. And, of course, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already and join the family. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Mixer at The Mad Kiger. I've been having a lot of fun with the Red Dead Redemption streams as of late. Lots of crazy stuff has been happening. Check them out if you want. And, of course, as always, have a nice day. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.